Welcome to CPG Brand Builders. I'm Braden Douglas, and with me today is not only one of the best marketers in Canada, in my opinion, he's also my brother, Nate Douglas. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Braden. I think you have to say that.
I do, actually. I do. We are part of the same family. I have
That's
to
true.
say,
Yeah.
but you are very, very good. Well, give us an idea.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Well, tell us what background. Why can I say that?
Well, I think my career started in McCain Foods. So McCain Foods is one of the best marketing companies I think globally, and I think they taught me a lot of the fundamentals of marketing. And as an early kind of out of school marketer, they were great to get that foundation really set. So, and then there's some great people that have been able to teach me and to learn from. Some mistakes I've learned from across the time. So,
And how long were you at McCain for? 10 years? Almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And then where did you go?
And then I went to Lactalis, which was Parmalat, also an amazing marketing company, great operations company in the dairy section. And we're really fortunate to rebrand and relaunch a number of different products, both at McCain and Lactalis. So I just feel really fortunate to be able to do that. And then now working with you at Crew, able to do that for multiple different businesses. And it's been a lot of fun.
We're like a marketing family. This is
right?
This is what we do. We talk about it all day long.
Right.
But so let's chat about strategy.
Sure.
Right. You're at McCain, and you're on Deep and Delicious cake.
Yep.
Right. What is give me an idea of the category, the challenges. Like, what was the marketing challenge that you were faced with?
Yeah, with Deep and Delicious. So at McCain, I was on a number of different brands. So I started in food service potatoes and food service sales, right out of school, and then moved to marketing, and did retail potatoes, and then moved into snacking and into Deep and Delicious cakes. And so Deep and Delicious cakes is phenomenally well known in Canada. It's an iconic brand, and the challenge that we had though is the awareness of Deep and Delicious, or D&D cakes, is that it was, I don't know, somewhere around the 90s in terms of,
is it that high?
Unaided awareness, somewhere around there. It was huge, but the household penetration of it is relatively low. It's in one category and in the freezer section, and so even though people love it and it's been almost like a generational cake, people don't always think about it all the time, and so you need to remind them and provide opportunities for them to try it again, and to make sure it's kind of part of their daily life. So that was one of the challenges, and how do you do that on a relatively small budget and a small category.
I feel like that's like marketing today is how do you get the best results with a small budget?
Yeah,
it seems like. So what were some of the strategies? What were if I'm a marketer right now in a brand, what things did you try that was successful?
Yeah. So I think there's two kind of main things. One is focusing on the core and looking at, okay, what are the core usage occasions of Deep and Delicious, and then what are the other occasions that we can look at that just aren't tapped yet, and that people really aren't thinking about, and can our product kind of fit seamlessly within that, or do we have to make some changes and tweaks to actually make it fit? And so that's where you see a lot of portfolios start to expand when you're like, oh my gosh, we have this great product for this occasion, but it doesn't quite fit for this type of person or this type of time setting and that sort of thing. And so innovation kind of played a big role, and then
what kind of innovation?
So we were looking at, I don't know how much I can say on that one, but but we were looking at like
cupcakes, or
we were looking at singles.
Singles.
And actually they just launched a couple of years ago. So they kind of the challenge with some innovation, it takes a long time to figure out how do you commercialize it in a cost-effective way. But that core idea, like that start of an idea was, takes years sometimes in the making. But one of the tactics was using broadcast TV at the time. We had some spots that worked really well in the past, and so we're like, okay, let's leverage that, and then we can kind of run TV and use media in a way that's pretty effective by kind of pulsing media. So we would have about 4 weeks on, and then we would do be on air for about a week, off air for a couple weeks, on air for a week, and then kind of off air. So kind of pulse media to be able to really stretch that media out for a long period of time.
Okay, so let's, what I would say the debate right now that we have with lots of brands is broadcast TV versus paid digital, right? Because I can measure it, I can do stuff, but what's the good argument to say, this is a fit for broadcast, not just to go to paid digital because that's the default, but what was that kind of thinking?
I think you always have to, classic marketer, it's like, let's go back to the target audience. So always go back to your target audience. Where do they show up? What are they looking at? What are they interested in? And then match your media channels to that. And so I think whether it's broadcast kind of TV, live TV, connected TV, other video, I think you still have to look at like, where are we going to get the most, where are we going to show up for our audience in a very cost-effective way? So, the live TV and sports, huge opportunities for certain brands, and that's still a very important channel for a lot of brands to make sure that you're getting in front of an audience. I think if you do have like a video asset in a video format, then trying to figure out ways you can leverage both traditional broadcast as well as your as well as digital means like YouTube and connected TV like Prime. It can definitely be there, and then all the streaming services now are opening up to paid ads, which years ago that wasn't an option. So it's been, I think if you can leverage it, the more like leverage a video asset more, than the better.
Yeah, I have a moral conviction now when I'm watching like Netflix, because then a commercial will come on and be like, oh, that ruins it. But then I love it because I'm a marketer and I'm like, ooh, a good ad though. So I'm always.
I know, it's like part of like, oh, what was that ad? Let me think about that. And I was like, yeah. Now my kids are into it, so they actually love watching the ads. They're like, can we just wait until the ads are done, then we can go to bed? And we're like, well, okay.
The next generation, we grew up with commercials in TV, so we're always annoyed by them. But you're right, my kids and stuff, they're always like, oh, there's ads. It's like a little bit different.
Yeah. So we got to keep it entertaining though. The ads have to be entertaining.
They have to be good. 100%. Okay. Well, one of the things that you really kind of have pioneered in, even at Crew, is the usage attitude change shift, right? We call it the U chart. Yeah. And you used it at Parmalat when you were relaunching Astro. And maybe just tell us, because I think as brand builders, I'm going to put this resource in our membership that you're going to be able to have, because it's fantastic. But walk us through that. What is that? What is the chart? How did you use it at Astro when you had to try to resurrect a brand?
Yeah. So if you don't know Astro yogurt, it's a kind of natural yogurt. And the challenge that they were having at the time is it's been around since the 70s or 80s. And it was like a tired brand. So did really, really well for a long time. And then there just wasn't as much investment back into the brand. And then you'd have a core group of people that absolutely loved it. And then you have a core people that were like, oh, that's the old tired brand. It's like the cheap one. And so our challenge was, how do you actually take a brand where you have a core audience and love it, and then how do you get new people to look at it? And so we had this U chart, actually started at McCain as well. And it's like almost like a today, like what's today's business, and then we have a tomorrow's business. And so it starts off at the top with um, your business metrics. So what are your sales, your net, your pounds, what's your gross profit, and then you go down, and all of that information, all your business metrics are derivatives of a consumer behavior. So your household penetration, how many households are actually buying your yogurt, for example, X number of times per year at a certain price. And so you kind of know it's like it's not just, you get this, you get your sales, you get your gross profit. Your gross profit comes from a consumer behavior. And
which most people miss.
Yeah,
they do miss.
Right? Yeah, they do.
They miss the consumer actually, like, oh yeah, people actually have to find it, buy it, try it, love
Right.
it, buy it again.
That's right. And then they, over a year, then they're like, okay, they're coming back to our category, 5 times a year. When you think about that, it's like at a 52, they're coming like 5 times a year, and buying like, say, 1 tub of yogurt. That's, for a lot of people doing that could be a pretty significant business, but it's also a huge opportunity when they're like, well, why not 8 times a year? And so then, but the only way that they do that is like they have a certain attitude. Consumers have a certain attitude toward your category, and that attitude drives their consumer behavior. And so the only way to make change within a business is to change a consumer attitude. And so that consumer attitude change would lead into a new consumer behavior, which then leads into your new business metrics. So it's not just like, oh, we want to grow 25%, year over year on net sales. And it's like, well, how are you to do that? Well, it comes with a new consumer behavior, which comes with a new attitude. And so then the challenge is, well, how do you unlock that new attitude? And
so in Astro, give me an example of that.
Yeah. So,
what were the attitude? Was it like, oh, that's the cheap one?
Yeah, exactly. And so the current attitude was, it's the cheap one, and that they, and it was a lot of sugar. And so what we looked at was like, okay, like there's some sugar aspects that we had to address. And then there's also an element of like, we had to figure out what the insight was to trying to get them to this new attitude. So if it's all about, like, we did ethnographies. So do you know what ethnographies are?
No, I forget. It sounds awesome though.
It does sound awesome. And it sounds like really fancy. But we did ethnographies where we go into a person's home, and we observe them, like, taking the product and using it, and interviewing them, and it's like kind of like a really intimate thing.
Man, I love it. It's like so creepy, but yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, right.
Just watching them.
Yeah, you're like, we're not here. yeah, continue on your regular day. Yeah, but it was like within those ethnographies, as well as within some focus groups, we identified an insight around, like, the people who absolutely loved it. And so we did ethnographies with people who were, heavy users, and that they absolutely loved the yogurt. And then there's people that were like, no, and they're buying something else. And so we wanted to talk to both of those people, mm-hmm. and understand, like, what is a core truth of our product today, and understand, like, okay, like, is there something that they absolutely love that they found out that nobody else has discovered yet? And can we tell that to the people who don't know about it? And can that change their behavior? And so that, like, insight work that we did really uncovered kind of a key truth, which was the whole idea of natural, and that the most famous Astro yogurt is their original plain yogurt, and it has like this creamy texture. They, like, the first spoonful of it was kind of like the experience of ice cream, but without the guilt, and the thickness of it, the creaminess of it. But it's only made with 3 ingredients and no sugar, and only like natural sugars, and so we're like, that idea, that experience of of that yogurt, people have discovered that. And so if you can kind of amp up that idea of natural, if you can make sure that the experience of the rest of the portfolio matches that experience of the famous, the famous SKU, can we increase or change the attitude of people that don't love it? And can we get more households to buy the product?
So when you got that insight of natural,
Yeah.
right? What did you take? Like, how did that then manifest itself? Like, you got this insight, and then do you just start launching it? Do you start in the communication side? Like, what happens?
Yeah. So, like anything with marketing, we start going back to the 4 Ps. And the first one was the product. So we want to make sure that that product experience was really consistent across everything within the portfolio. And it was like a pretty big portfolio. Or we had natural SKUs, which like zero sugar. We had flavors and multi packs and little individuals, and we wanted to make sure that it was consistent all the way. And so we had to work with our research and development team, make sure that that product experience was there. We had to work with our operations team to make sure that quality control and that they can run it consistently was there. We had to work with our finance team and make sure that that was from a COGS perspective was all in line. And so there's times where we had to fight for better quality and better and a better experience, but at the risk of kind of like impacting our COGS. And so there is a whole thing around how do we save money in other ways so that we can pay for
better ingredient,
better processing. So it was quite a team effort, and worked with a lot of like great people to kind of figure that out.
Right. And then once you got the formula, everybody's aligned, packaging, and then rollout.
Yeah. So like the rollout was really big. So there was over 120 components to packaging to try to kind of line up. And when you do a big kind of relaunch and a rebrand, a lot of things that I would say like veteran marketers know about, but it's the wastage of packaging and the cost of transitioning packaging can be quite large. And so working with packaging or purchasing, to try to figure out, okay, when are we going to switch over to this new formula? We're going to switch over to our new packaging. We want to make sure that we're kind of working together with our operations and our buyers to make sure that we are running out at the same time as kind of ramping up the new packaging. And then when we're thinking about this like new packaging, we want to make sure like the product quality was there, but then also the outside of the packaging was there. And so one of the first things I did after kind of realizing that we have like a fantastic product, it was like a really great product, and that consumers loved it, and there's some great and they still love it. Like it's a great the
taste of it is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm like we go through tubs of it every week still, and it's great. And what I did was I wrapped a golden spoon in a newspaper, and I gave it to the cross-functional team, and I wrapped it like really poorly, and it was like it wasn't, it was kind of like something you would get from your kids, right? When they were like little, and it was like the thought, it was like kind of newspapery, and it was like, okay, here's a gift for you. And we got together around this rebrand, and I said, okay, now everyone unwrap your gift. And so they unwrap it, and it was like a golden spoon. And I said, okay, this is what Astro yogurt is, and this is what. But right now, it's like it's wrapped in newspaper. Nobody knows the golden spoon that's underneath. And so we have to, as a team, get people to understand the quality that's actually here. And how do we do that together, and how do we do that going forward? And so it was quite a process to sell in a packaging change like that, to make sure it's the right packaging design. Lots of research kind of went into that, and a lot of collaboration with the Italian team, the Canadian team, and the French team as well.
Wow.
Kind of went into it.
Well, you know what? You just hit on something that, well, I thought was brilliant, is you were able to almost market to an internal team to get them to understand what you're trying to do. Right? Wrapping up something in like a crappy newspaper to say, hey, our packaging looks like crap, and it's setting the bad expectations with consumers because they're going to devalue it and not perceive it as the quality it is.
Yeah.
And you kind of went through that to be able, like, almost giving them that, you know, that visual lesson, which not every marketer thinks of. But I'm like, we almost have to think about, how do we sell in ideas? How do we sell things in internally?
Yeah.
More sometimes than we have to do it externally.
Yeah, and it's not hard. Like I think it was like, I don't know, Bouclair or like some like, I don't know, like some like home store. And I was like, okay, here's the idea. And I got asked my boss, Paul, at the time, and I was like, hey, this is the idea. This is what I wanted. He's like, yeah, go for it. Like, this is great. Love the idea. Go. And so it's helpful to have kind of leaders around you to be able to like, just be like, yeah, just go for it, man. Like, you've got this.
Yeah.
And so I've been very, very fortunate throughout my career to have leaders to be able to do that.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, Nate, it is so good to be able to talk to you. So for the Brand Builders community, we have that usage, U-chart, attitude change piece that you can find in the site, and it's our gift to you. It is such a good way to visualize how to grow your business, and I have to thank Nate for bringing that into Crew and how we use it, because it's such a great tool for the right audience. But Nate, thank you so much for being here, man. I feel like we could just chat forever, but I appreciate it. I'll see you actually at Christmas.
Yeah, we'll see you at Christmas. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Have an awesome day.